This is Niesmann Bischoff's Smove. It's just come out in the summer of 2016 and it is for Niesmann Bischoff a revolutionary vehicle. It's got lots of good features, although it's got a number of weak features as well. But let's start off by just looking at it, and whereas it's a semi-integrated model, in my opinion, and this may be a controversial opinion, it looks a bit as though it's a integrated model. It's the way that the body slopes back, it's got a very attractive look to it. But let's now have a look around it, and we come to the garage. Now the garage door can open like that. Alternatively, it can sort of slide open, so you could sort of comes out like this and then moves to this side. So if there's not much space, as very frequently happens, you're parked in a city somewhere or something like that, you can get into the garage. The garage is enormous. That is absolutely brilliant. Huge amount of space in there. There we have the gas cupboard. Unfortunately, that is not a good place for the gas cupboard. The reason for this is that when you are getting on a bit and you've got a bad back, it may be somewhat difficult to lift gas canister and manipulate it there into position. That, I believe, should be on the side somewhere. The rear has a very elegant look to it, like a car more than a van. Coming inside, we have an interesting design. The bench, very large table, panoramic lights, a seat which is belted, very good. This is the kitchen. Now, the kitchen itself, we can open this, and that comes down there, and that is sufficiently good to give you a bit of workspace. This comes across like that, and in my opinion could be too heavy, so we have a problem. I'm saying that part is good and that part could be better. Thing is, it's got to match, so what do you do? And I appreciate that that's a problem. Two hobs are sufficient for anybody, in my opinion, and you've got plenty of chopping space there, so I think that's great. You've got the 18-litre pans up there, you can chop there, sink could be bigger. Now we can pull these chairs out, drawers out I should say, and it's like this. The reason for that will become obvious in a second, because the toilet is actually under there. In my opinion, it would have been better if they'd had two separate, a little drawer there for keeping, I don't know, sort of utensils or something, you know, and just have the entrance, the front part coming up to there. The toilet door closes like that, so you can do that should you so wish. The shower is almost 1 square meter, not quite, but almost. That is enormous, and this rather clever trick of hiding it, the toilet, behind here, so it slides out, comes out like that quite easily, and I think that's great. Also, nice place there to sit down, wash your feet after you've been out on your bike. We have here hanging space, which I think is quite adequate. Thin line fridge with a freezer compartment at the bottom for easy access. Here we have the bed with an unusual step up to it. I'm now going to get onto the bed and show you the roof, because I think the roof is a bit of a failure. The roof is not flat, as can be seen, and the problem that this creates is that there is not enough space for solar panels, which is a major problem. We can see we've got these wing type elements, and I've got to ask the question, what is that there for? in a vehicle like this, and one of the problems is that the people who make or design these things don't use them. So they come up with a wonderful back, a lovely looking shape of the outer vehicle, but something which is practical, which we as motorhomers need, which is solar. You can't really put it there. In fact, well, you'd have to put it there. There's nowhere else to put it. But this would create shade on the panels, which would decrease the efficiency of those panels. There's four basic designs to this Smove. You can either have a bed, which is widthwise, as we saw. You can have two single beds, and there's different lengths to the vehicle. In creating this vehicle, Niesman Bishop wanted to have a vehicle which was under 3.5 tons, so that people on a normal car driving license could use it. As you can see, what they normally do are vehicles which are luxury vehicles, but much bigger. Now, in trying to arrive at 3.5 tons, they've put in other features which, as I mentioned earlier, show that the people who design these things are not people who actually use it. This vehicle weighs, they claim it weighs 3,200. I know somebody who weighed it in at 3,300 kilos. Now, it's got a 200 litre fresh water tank. That is brilliant, but that will weigh 200 kilos. It's the fuel tank, so 80 litres in there, that's another 80 kilos. So if it's 3,200, as they say, we're now at 3,490. So it doesn't leave much room for you or carrying things. So unfortunately, there we have a problem. They also claim it can be used as a city car. You can go to the theatre in it or something like that. However, I know from having a vehicle the same size that that is not really all that easy. Maybe you can do if there's plenty of parking. I don't know. I would give Niesman Bishop full marks for the outer look of the vehicle, but I believe that it still requires more thought, and preferably from somebody who knows about motorhoming and is a motorhome user.